Yes, 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 yes. It's just pretty interesting, though, to say the least. That you know, people think from their own vantage point, from their own vantage point, and their vantage point becomes, what is called their point of view. Excuse me. And when you think of one's point of view, you know, you think about his or her position. Yes, his or her position. And then you look at the word position. If a guy is trying to go up for a rebound of some sort, he or she will do his best to try to get in a better position. At least first of all, where he thinks the ball, if the ball comes off the rim, where the ball may, travel, and it's not necessarily always the case, but based upon his experience, he would say that this more than likely where the ball will bounce off the rim. And then you think of a word linguistically position. The prefix of the word pause is that which to have access to. So the point of view in one's position is associated with having access to something, So it's about accessibility, So I think yes, and when you think of that, you deal with also flows and blockages as well. Those are one's limitations and accomplishments, and yes, when you deal with one's that means that there must be some boundaries that must be drawn. And then when one's boundaries is drawn, it also is associated with being very analytical as well, This one's point of view, some say you when you pray you turn in a certain direction, but look at the word universe, uno, which means in one direction. And when I think of direction, I think of all new life is the reproduction of new life is it comes from the existence of old life, or that which have existed before. New life is the reproduction of that which existed before, and it could become very traditional. Traditional way of a way of life. And something that you become accustomed to. You know, it's like when people get make a pretty decent living. They get out of the what is called the ghetto. You know, even though that's a what is called a Jew term, and that is associated with the Primary Privacy Act. It was that a certain amount of brothers came together and pulled their resources together, create opportunity for themselves, because opportunity is a direct correlation of ownership. So you can hire who you want to hire. Yes. So maybe it inflames people. Something that is inflammatory is a sickness, and I think Dr. Sebi says about mucus. Mucus is talking about that sickness or disease. I believe, I don't know what word it is, but it's the mucus, and inflammatory, that which is also associated with an infection, And anytime you deal with an infection, it spreads, and then you deal with a disease. A disease was really a dis-ease. A dis-ease. So yes, I was thinking about something in regards to this life here, conundrum as all is called, or this enigma, I look at the human emotion, and I look at some of the people that could be or that are on the screen, telling a vision, telling a vision, in vision, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that, I heard one say that he said that, stemming from the source of one's thinking, And I realized that every thought, begins with a seed. So then we get into something that is called agriculturalist. I think Chinka Diop says that when the rain falls from the sky and it falls to the ground and it produces a crop, and so he said it must be a God somewhere. God is a thought that materializes from the mind. Thought, the Jehuti, the way of words. So agriculturalists, but when you think of 4 stages of life: you plant, you grow, you harvest, you store. He says Jesus is born, Jesus lives, he dies, and he resurrects. And I don't get caught up in what they call personalities. When it comes to people, all I know is that just deal with what's going on amongst, when it pertains to one's humanity, And also, I think with agriculturalists, industrialists, technology, these 3 evolving processes that what makes that which is empowering is when the power is in the hands of the people. Yes, so it may not say, well, they may not know what to do with the power. What is that power that that I'm talking about. I know that there is power in electricity. A shock. Energy. The power is in the energy. So I just think about like one's physical presence here. On this screen now. Because this learning environment, this universe or this planet, whatever you want to call it, is a learning environment. It's a learning environment. They say that the blessing comes when you learn the lesson. It's cause and effects, really is. Cause and effect. This learning environment. Earth is the earth. I always liken the earth as to that which keeps you grounded and humble. But humans are able to sail the seas, and able to fly through the air. They hell of an imagination. I think Einstein says it take imagination over knowledge. But this physical presence here, is of life. It's maybe is designed for us to logical expression of our human emotion. This life here, it's a physical presence and a logical expression of our human emotions. And maybe we're here to communicate the language that all life consists of. It's a plan net. A plan net, and we look at the word net. Yes, and we look at the word net, and you catch something in the net, and your net value, your net, Yes, that which brings people together. It is a gathering to be productive. Is a gathering of coexisting with one another in harmony. So if anything that we are some people are communicating that they have not yet learned to coexist with other life forms, with other life forms. So you become the word, all life consists of communicating. All life consists of plant and animal life, Animal, that which comes from the word animated, and we know that says that Walt Disney was the father of animation, that which gives life, Yeah. So we living in something that has we are we really animated beings, Something has given life to this screen, this movie screen of the universe, or this learning environment, whatever you want to call it, that the physically, our physical presence here is like a logical, it's logical. So we must think logical in the manner and the way in which we express our human emotions as we communicate the importance of what all life consists of, and just look at the makeup of the human anatomy, has the parts in it that makes us life, then something that we seek to hold on to is the breath that we breathe. Shamans talks about how we fight for every breath, and we think that this is, we say this our life, but there is someone gives you a name, and that's just something to be able to identify you as, and so forth and so on. But it's more to you or I than meets the eye, to each other than meets the eye. This is just another soul that, or a soul that's in you, I should say, in this physical body, because the physical presence of one's body will no longer exist. It has a expiration date, but that soul, the spirit of that soul, the energy of that soul, and when you look at the energies and elements, that they when they come together, energy and elements. There was a group called themselves Energies of the of the universe, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Energies, coming together. Unity. Yes, some will call it, associate that with Tawheed, Yes. Energy of coming together. Yes. So when you think of the word police, it's a Greek term. It's associated with a city where only men of wealth and power can vote. Women and children could not vote. Policy describes the actions of a government, and when it comes to politics, or that which controls, maybe usually created in response to issues. This control or this government or governing body. So that's why, if anything, we need to control. It is talking about self-control, and that's mastery, that's self-mastery. That's called temperance / temperament. As I call it, associate that with the maturation process, and through 5 channels out which I communicate. And temperance / temperament is the bridge that connects the first 2 and the last 2. Temperance connect to tolerance, and tolerance connect to understanding, and then temperament, the attitude, connects to confidence and respect. The sarat could be used, which means the bridge that's over hellfire. Some may use that term. I'm talking about the state of mind. So, but a response, this policy is created in response to important issues. What is important, and all life is important. All life is important in some societies. Money, wealth, that's important. And therefore that becomes the decision that is made when it comes to policy. Could be an ideology that is important, that one seems to uphold. Yeah. So the issues are brought before the decision makers. Those who make decisions. And that's why it's always good to be in a good company of people, good companionship, so that you do your best to make the best of decisions. Self-advocacy, wisdom, Yes, and we deal with the lowest accommodation of science, which is politics, where these policies come from, or come to inform, or come in the form, I should say, in the form of what? Of laws. This is laws. Or we look at the law of the universe is one. Oneness is stronger than conflict, and unity is stronger than diversity. But these talking about man-made laws, laws, rules, regulations, and some call it expediency, which means you make up rules along the way. It comes in the form of laws. I'm talking about how humankind use the universe, right? They draw from it, but some kind of way they are out of order because they misinterpret. They interpret it, interpret what has been created. You're born dependent, then you become independent, then you become interdependent. To live in harmony. To coexist. Yes. So these laws and regulations that which regulate, on a regular basis, regu, that which means that which is regal, and that which is regal becomes legal. But remember, it is late. It is late. It is not accurately. It's not appropriately, because it doesn't strike a balance, and it's not on time. So it makes it to be out of order. Yes. And then they created once again by this governing body, and it falls down from the leadership on down. So whoever is considered to be a leader of any governing body, when it comes to policy and policy makers, whether it's a prime minister or a president, prime minister on down, determine what is important. How can someone determine what's important for you? You have to determine what's important for yourself. Then there's a saying in closing about the wages of sin is death, as they call it. We look at it you're making a wage, you're making a bet, and we think it's just tied to money. But we want to deal with the natural result, or the natural progression. The natural result, or the natural progression, if I may. When it comes to a natural result, and as opposed to an unnatural result, that which is contrary to nature and coexisting in harmony with one another, is natural. It's not unnatural to coexist and live in harmony with one another. You make that which is unnatural natural. We still deal with reproduction of new life as the life that existed before. And we're going to, if that which was tested before is going to be tested now. And the test is designed to see how you process information. So this natural result for righteous living, and righteous living is to live a meaningful life, So when it says to be fruitful and multiply, it is to be productive and live a meaningful life. So in this wise, I must say that the people, once again, speaks from the position of their vantage point. And I think Einstein never said it better when he says that you cannot solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that created it. So I say, until next time, keep smiling, because do your best to smile, and because that's a charitable gift that you're giving to someone who may be frowning, but don't fool nobody with your smile by giving the impression that you're smiling at them, whereas you may be growling at them. A slide never said it better. Everybody is a star. Look up what stars are made up of, and you can see what you are made up of. Very similar indeed. Biological fact. Until next time, may we be granted success for our labor and joy for our sorrows. Reverend Wally Moo Kevin, the teacher of teachers, the preachers of preachers. I value, you value, we value. It's just another part of me. Until next time, talk to you.